When I was pregnant with my first child, I was encouraged to make the choice to switch from a doctor to a midwife.
So we're going back to like 2007. And Dr. Parsley was the one that referred me to you. And I was actually a little shocked because I knew him, so I went to him.
Right.
And so this whole concept of like midwives, even though I had heard about them and my mom was like, oh yeah, midwives. My concept was it had
You
not
say a
been.
doctor.
Yes, I didn't form that yet. So then when I finally like got to see you, and I think you were my first appointment, it was like, this could be, it's better than I ever expected it to be. And part of that is just like the support you give right away.
Empowerment is finding confidence in the transition, understanding that growth is not weakness. Not knowing is not weakness.
It's so great to see somebody come in and see that spark both of like total excitement and the twinkle of fear behind their eyes, and then the like, teach me.
Yes.
You know, even if they're not saying it with their voice, they're saying it with their body.
Yeah.
And just to have somebody that you can tell is already just totally in love with their baby.
Empowerment does not have to be lonely. We can find strength in each other, in our vulnerability, and even in weakness. Others can give us their strength and support to push us through.
My sister-in-law was like, hey, you're gonna have this baby on Wednesday. And I'm like maybe. I'm not having any contractions. I'm barely having Braxton Hicks. Like, this is not happening. Like,
Right.
Who knows? I'll probably be one of those people that they're like, okay, it's been 3 weeks. Can we get this baby out of here now? And it was that night that she said it, that I went into labor. And, the minute they started, I was like, I gotta call the midwives. Give them a call. And you happened to be on call that one particular night, and I just remember you saying, like, you had a whole conversation with me, and you were like, well, tuck yourself back into bed, maybe take a shower, get yourself all cozy, because just by talking to you over the phone, I can tell.
Probably not time yet.
That Wednesday time frame my sister-in-law gave me was like, oh, this is sounding a little bit more legit. Now, her reasoning behind it was because this huge nor'easter was coming this way.
That year.
Yes.
Empowerment is not some cosmic display of power. It is finding strength and fortitude in vulnerability.
But it was like, I gotta have a shot. Even though you can't choose, but the universe.
Well, I tell babies all the time, I'm on call Thursday.
I know.
Choose me.
I know. It was just something I think innate in me that like that's where my comfort level was too. Even though like I've enjoyed all the midwives since then, who I've had plenty of different midwives either seeing me or whatever. But and that first connection I think is important.
Having a bond with someone that was advising, comforting, and instructing, but also listening, whether I was saying something or not, was so necessary when the time arrived where I felt vulnerable.
So this is my favorite memory. So you come in and you ask me how I'm doing, and you called me like all these great positive words, like you're just a super woman, you're awesome, you're a goddess, like you look at this rock star over here, like all of these like just things you need to hear. It could have been anything. Could have called me applesauce. I probably didn't, It's like, yes I am. I'm applesauce. So, but you were like, I said immediately, this back labor, it has to be back labor. I don't know what back labor feels like. This is my first job, but this has to be it. And you were like, yes, I'm going to assume, because you were like, this was your problem solving, and you're just in the wrong position. Let's move you. Yeah. And you got me up on my knees, and I was like laboring up on my knees, and you magical heat pack landed on my back. Like, I didn't ask for this, but thank you.
It's amazing how good something can feel in labor.
That's what it was. Everybody was holding my hand, touching me, helping me. I don't even know why I was like that, but it was like this overstimulation. Like I could not control how much that bothered me. And then you came in and you just one swipe on like my calf, and I'm like, touch me forever, Michelle. Like this, it was so like what I needed, and I don't know how you have that intuition. I don't know if it's learned. I don't know if it's just something you just know, or you're just listening to everything. But I was like, how did she? I couldn't even speak to you,
Yeah.
but you knew
Yeah.
that was just going to be what I needed, and it was like, oh.
That is one of the really just amazing things about being with people in labor and that kind of intimacy. There's this immediate and unearned intimacy, because even though you and I knew each other, and even though I've gone to school, so people are like, of course you've earned it. I'm like, no, I haven't. This is not a relationship that anything gives me the ability to move into it, and yet we do. We move into this like incredible intimate relationship. And like with the touch, it's so important for me, and I try and tell people about this, like when you're touching somebody in labor or comforting them in any way, that the comfort is all about them and not about me at all. And a lot of people are taking your hand when you're grieving or laboring or whatever, and it's really to make them feel better. Oh, I'm touching you to make me, and it can't be that. It's gotta be that I'm touching your leg for you.
Yes.
Which means too, that if there's anything in you that goes, that I just take it away. My ego doesn't get in the way. I'm like, oh, that wasn't the right touch.
After delivery was not easy. My son had some minor breathing issues and was put under oxygen, and I was supported. After he recovered and came back, he was jaundiced and needed phototherapy lights for many days. I was encouraged and supported, and this gave me the strength to become something new, something I had been trying to prepare for, but I couldn't fully prepare for until it happened, something called mother. This is not just a story about birth or a story about a wonderful experience with a midwife. This is about the understanding that finding empowerment is not always an independent task. We do not have to be alone to acquire strength. We do not have to understand things independently to learn. We can be someone who supports, listens, comforts, and encourages people to find strength in vulnerability. May we all get a chance to help someone and to do it with them.
I will do this all day, by the way. Just chat with you. It's just my and I love you to pieces for like ever and ever, because that's just the way it works for me. Had a good experience.
I know.
We're connected.
Yeah, I do that too. I'm like, you're mine.
Yeah, right? That's always have been like that.